What would the eighth deadly sin be? Ignorance, maybe. Well, for all we know, maybe it always was. Deleting your child's year-old Minecraft world. 1. Pride. 2. Greed. 3. Wrath. 4. Envy. 5. Lust. 6. Gluttony. 7. Sloth. 8. Prejudice. I choose prejudice. Listed the other 7 to make it easier for others thinking of alternatives. Easier to see them written here. Microwaving fish. Hypocrisy. But it's only a problem when other people do it. Being an anti-vaxxer. Ignorance. Filming vertically. Intolerance. Asterisk milk fart gang wants to know your location. Asterisk. Asterisk pleasure from other people's pain. Asterisk. I'm not sure I agree with the concept of a deadly sin, but I find it's a big problem with humans. Morals. And to my understanding, the concept of sadism wasn't explicitly defined until Freud, maybe. Most people are guilty of this in one form or another, and it should be guarded against. Ah yes, Schadenfreude. I feel like sadism and Schadenfreude are definitely not the same thing. Don't kink shame me. Not kissing your homies goodnight. Tom Brady kissing his child on the lips goodnight. Using emojis on Reddit. Reposting in narc jokes. Reposting in narc jokes. Apathy, lying or exploitation. Wouldn't apathy fall under sloth though? Sloth is general laziness. Apathy is a lack of emotional investment. Talking about things in a roundabout way. See, what I'm thinking is, that might not be entirely optimal a comment. What I mean is, there is a possibility that you might want to change how you wrote the comment. What I'm trying to say is, I think there's a way you could have rephrased, and by that I mean, rephrase it in a way that balances it in combination with the opposite. What I mean is, you could have written it better by maybe impressing the opposite of what you were saying instead of what you actually currently wrote, and by that I mean, you're absolutely wrong. Okay, apathy. Sounds like sloth. TikTok. If people enjoy TikTok, let them enjoy it. It's not doing anything terrible. My whole family is addicted to it. Quarantine was not fun. Wait, was? Question mark. There are areas that are slowly loosening quarantining rules. The province of Quebec, outside Montreal, did 2 weeks ago, and again a week ago. Fun fact. Originally, there were 9 deadly sins. The removed sins were vanity, which was just lumped in with pride, and apathy, also referred to as melancholy, which was lumped in with sloth. Leaving your cart right in the middle of the aisle so other people can't get by while you look for an IT Monsieur. Walter. Art found Walter from Facebook. Art buyer truck monster truck. Walter. Shitting on the floor of a public bathroom. Monsieur. Animal abuse. Being a Karen, might fall under a mix of pride, envy and wrath, I think. Edit. Also a bit of greed and maybe a bit of gluttony, I guess. So a Karen is basically all sins but lust and sloth. But yes, wrath, obvious. Greed, always tries to get as much reward as possible. Pride, is never wrong in the supreme authority. Envy, will envy a terminally diseased kid for getting a final wish in their life while she totally deserves that. Gluttony, can never have enough and must overindulge as much as possible. She can't do lust if no one wants to fuck her. Also nice username. I would say ignorance, but I believe religions purposely don't focus on knowledge and education outside of itself, to keep people believing in the writings of the books that never change. So in that case, I'd say, hoarding, food, wealth, love, etc. Isn't that gluttony, greed, and lust? Ignorance is not knowledge or understanding. It can be a normal, natural thing we all have. To be a sin, it needs to be an active choice of action without innocence. So arrogance would be the sin of being ignorant and not accepting it. Self-righteousness. That falls under pride, doesn't it? I think you're right. People that are holier than thou tend to be very prideful as well. Not showering before going to a public event. At least put on some deodorant if you can smell how bad your own smell is. Ghosting on appointments. Bigotry. Wouldn't that just be pride? Since you're so concerned with your side that you just can't accept that there are more. Sand. Our Anakin Skywalker. It's coarse, and it's rough, and it gets everywhere. Completing the Blade's quest where you kill Parthanax. And just to make you feel like total shit for doing so. He doesn't even fight back until he's down to like 10% health. Also, you just killed Mario. You monster. Yeah, it's like he's giving you a chance to stop. Can't save progress after such an awful act. I'm genuinely sorry for what I have to do here. Parthunix. Milk before cereal. Taking vertical pictures and videos when there is no reason to. For the idea of the eighth sin being a master lesson that summarizes all the others. I would say selfishness. Whenever I try and define evil, I always use the Spider-Man argument. Basically, two people, Peter Parker and Norman Osborn, are each granted access to abilities that put them above ordinary people. One tries to use their powers to help others and save lives, and thus becomes a hero. The other uses their powers to advance their own interests, and is thus evil. Therefore the root of all evil is selfishness. And if we look at the other sins, they are all linked with caring about your own needs and wants over those of others. The corresponding cardinal virtues, chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, gratitude, and humility, are all linked to self-sacrifice or putting the needs of others over your own. I have no idea how solidly this idea holds water, but it's the closest thing to a universal moral code I have. I think you correct, but missing part of the puzzle. Like I need to selfishly push myself towards greatness or else I wouldn't have money for food. You know, Trump. D's nuts. Psychopathy. The wish to cause suffering. The want to kill. The impulse to destroy. It would be the worst of them too. Hanging out in bed all the time. Pretending you're too old and frail to work but suddenly leaping out. Full of energy. When some relative wins a metal ticket. CCP. According to Jimmy Buffett, pizza. Yes, I was hoping someone would say that. That's what I said, but I think you beat me to it. Micromanagement. Getting caught. The premise of the sins is wanting things too much. Be it power or food or what others possess. So I think the next sin should fit that trend. Avoidance or obsession might fit. Maybe one built around working too much. Corruption. How is it distinct from greed? You can corrupt for sexual and control reasons as well as financial. And it's the most evil of sins in my view. Corruption of the innocent is vile. Think child soldiers, sexual abuse. It's the worst. That way it makes more sense. Corruption in the legal and more commonly used sense. So abuse of some position of power for personal gain doesn't really fit in that well with the sins. It's a rather base and disgusting action based on a sentiment. And yeah, not just greed. That was stupid and kind of missing the point. Rather than a sentiment or motivation itself as the other 7 are. Corruption of someone's personality as one of the vilest forms, or yeah, just the worst, of manipulation is pretty distinct from that, and it's arguably kind of unfortunate that they use the same word. But even that is an action based on a awful motivation, so it doesn't really fit in. Microwaving chocolate milk and claiming it is hot chocolate. Happy Cake Day. Being found out. Craisins. Fuck those things in whatever salad they invade. Craisins are delicious. I eat them out of the bag. Tailgating with your high beams on. Paying off the mods to keep a story of you assaulting 2 people working minimum wage jobs off the internet. Reposting. Stupidity. I agree, covers all bases. Hubris. Misinformation. Putting a fake X on a mobile ad. Driving slow in the left lane. The local Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. I got the heebie-jeebies from this comment. Good. I will make it a first-hand experience. A2M. What is that? Intransigence. What? Hypocrisy. Well, there are 9 circles of hell. 8 if you don't count limbo. Pick one of those. Deceit. Real talk, it's despair. Not refilling the toilet paper. deliberate ignorance, me, taking away your child's electronics, douchery, politics, killing your pets in Minecraft, poor hygiene, having a different opinion on Reddit, not signaling when turning, taking up more than one parking space, edit, or reposting something from Reddit onto Instagram. Monsieur can't decide, treachery, dishonesty, spite, not posting the sauce, dishonesty, ketchup on a well-done steak, grinds my gears and I don't even eat meat anymore, ignorance, karma whoring, leaving a voicemail, anal, I'm going straight to hell, disinterest, it's harming to all societies, posting inspirational captions under a selfie, running out of snacks during quarantine, kids will form a mutiny, goddammit, entitlement, the Karen clause, leaving food on the plate and putting it in the sink, apathy, carpeted bathrooms, milk before cereal, doing curls at the squat rack in a crowded gym, being toxic in ranked matches, dude, no one cares about your diamond rank in, insert first-person shooter game here, chewing with your mouth open, deceit, prejudice, or ignorance, probably, it's hard to think of what might be a deadly sin, the others are pretty vague and open-ended, so it's hard to find something that might fit in the cracks the others leave. It is close to asterisk pride asterisk, but I would say asterisk vanity asterisk. Especially in today's social media culture where everyone is constantly taking selfies then doctoring them up and posting them on IG and elsewhere. I'm confused by the concept of deadly sin. What does that mean, exactly? Basically a feeling or impulse that to engage in is considered selfish and objectively harmful. Therefore immoral, evil, sins. These aren't acts like murder, theft, whatever. But the underlying motivations, the concept itself into the way that is meant here is rooted in Christianity. Although without looking it up, I'm uncertain if it's directly in the Bible or just fan fiction from medieval theologians. I think it's the latter, though. For what the 7 deadly sins are, varying definitions have been used at different times. But the most common ensemble is sexual, lust, gluttony, like overeating, substance abuse, greed, sloth, mixed in with despair, apathy, wrath, envy, material or not, and pride, boastfulness, arrogance, Grandpa Joe, eating pineapples on a pizza, UGHH, smoking crack out of a baby. A sin is WHE, you do something evil intentionally. So no ignorance is no to sin. Willful ignorance is hypocrisy, posting on social media without checking sources, licking the lids of stuff in convenience stores, cliffhangers, we all hate the monsieur, joining the dark side, farting after eating vegan buffalo chicken, stealing toilet paper, the SDS animation, being late or not showing up for something and not at least calling. Seriously, there is a phone 5 feet from every person in America. There are no excuses. You are an asshole. Being in an elevator and farting and turning to the lady next to you and saying, dude. The crime is not the fart. The crime is calling the lady, dude. How come rape and murder aren't already covered? Presumably rape is covered under greed and murder under rage. Rape would be under lust, actually. I would go with deception. Betrayal. Would have said apathy, but that's what sloth is. It destroyed social cohesion and is often done maliciously. Self-deception can also be deadly to oneself as it prevents addressing your faults. Its heavenly virtue counterpart would be honesty. Reply all. Calculus. Emojis. Anime. Asking this question. Intentionally causing pain to animals. It's actually called 34, which is confusing because it's actually sin 8. Yes, you know exactly where this is going. The sin 34 describes the action of one creating NSFW art, especially for some sort of media that was not intended for the characters to be depicted this way, aka something like a children's show, or something where the characters are minors, related, etc. Committing 34 is the deadliest of sins. But sometimes if you go by an online alias, it is possible to get away with committing the sin. If not, one shall be caught by the FBI, for they have sinned. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.